Amid outrage over living conditions at a Border Patrol facility in Clint, Texas, there is new reporting that about 100 migrant children have been moved back into the facility. The transfer came just days after about 300 children originally housed at the border station were moved to other facilities to relieve overcrowding. Lawyers who visited the site last week reported that children weren't being given adequate food or water and described unsanitary conditions, including outbreaks of the flu and lice. In an interview with MSNBC this week, Texas GOP Congressman Michael Burgess suggested that children aren't leaving the Border Patrol facilities because they are well taken care of.
I've been to Casa Padre in Brownsville, Texas. Yes, it's a restored Walmart. You know what? There's not a lock on the door. Any child is free to leave at any time, but they don't. And You know why? Because they're well taken care of.
He's talking about 2-year-old toddlers that are going around without diapers. I mean, what exactly are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to get on their baby Uber out?
This is just lying to the American people.
And decide to go to Dallas and hang out there? It's unbelievable. NBC News is also reporting that a Customs and Border Protection official said the agency was not running low on supplies. It was not running low
oh my Lord.
On supplies. They just chose not to give those children soap.
That's in response to reports
toothpaste.
that people who were looking to make donations were being turned away.
Really concerned about the conditions at these border facilities?
Yes, I am. I'm very concerned. And they're much better than they were under President Obama, by far. And we're trying to get the Democrats to agree to really give us some humanitarian aid, humanitarian money.
Everything you just heard there was, of course, this will shock you, false. Now listen, I had a lot of people write on my timeline that it was just as bad under Barack Obama, because it's funny how this works. Donald Trump tells a lie, and his followers blindly repeat that lie like they're in a cult. A good way to find out what the truth is, you could actually go online. I joke about the Google machine, but you could find out, because I did it yesterday, in 3 minutes from multiple news sources, including conservative news sources, that's a lie. That under Barack Obama, children were detained only if they came alone or if they thought the children were being abused. And Barack Obama's administration's goal was to release them as quickly as possible. PolitiFact did some time ago what I did yesterday. And they wrote this: the Obama administration did not have a policy to separate families arriving illegally at the border. Did you hear me? Mm-hmm. Did you hear me? That is a fact. There was no child separation policy during the Obama administration. And in fact, family separations rarely happened under the Obama administration, which sought to keep families together while in detention. Then, based on a court decision, it released families together out of detention. Now, when children were feared to be abused or when they came alone, they put them in facilities until they could figure out how to release them as quickly as possible. So yes, you can snap a photo in time and see children in these detention facilities. But their goal was to never get them in those facilities, and their goal, their stated goal, was to get them out of those facilities as quickly as possible. Now, I know for some of you, you can't remember exactly what happened last week, let alone last year or the year before that. You just want to listen to what Donald Trump tweets, and you will retweet it mindlessly.
Yeah.
And I don't say this out of anger or frustration. I just say it because I'm telling you the fact. And that is your fact. That is your life. But if you will just dig a little bit deeper,
right?
If you will use the education that your parents worked hard to pay for you to use it, or if you'll just go on the Google machine next door at your neighbor, they're waiting, ask to use their Google machine, what you will find in 60 seconds of searching, you will find conservative news outlets, liberal news outlets, every news outlet telling you that the Trump administration, on the other hand, made it their deliberate policy, stay with me, come here. They made it their deliberate policy to separate children from families. And listen, if you don't want to walk next door to Google this, we've done your work for you this morning. Watch this.
I have put in place a zero-tolerance policy for illegal entry on our southwest border. If you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you. And that child may be separated from you as required by law.
Okay.
And Willie Geist, also, you had John Kelly saying that they would separate children from their parents, and they would do so as a deterrent. They would tear babies from mothers' arms. This is what was said with cameras rolling, that they would separate children from their parents. They would rip babies from their mothers' arms, quote, as a deterrent.
Yeah, that's the key right there, is that they called it a deterrent, and Jeff Sessions said that time and again, which tells you that it is a strategy, that they believe by appearing tough on the border, and again, I hesitate even to say that, because if your idea of being tough is letting babies go around in diapers, or as the congressman said yesterday with Chris Hayes, well, the door is open, those 2-year-olds are free to leave any damn time they want to leave, then I don't know what world of toughness you live in. But deterrence was a policy, deterrence was a strategy, deterrence was a goal, and they believe that the best way to do it was to scare people with images like the ones we've seen and stories like the ones we've heard yesterday from even attempting to come to the border with Mexico.
But Willie, here's the rub. Not only did it not work, it actually encouraged more people to come.
Yep.
We've said it time and again, and this is what I want Trump supporters who think that Donald Trump is actually doing a good job at the border to understand that Barack Obama's more humane approach actually led illegal crossings to a 50-year low. Donald Trump came in, and when he started to talk about building walls and shutting down the border at a time, again, when illegal crossings were at a 50-year low, that played right into smugglers' hands, who could tell scared people in Central America, hey, they're about to close the border.
Right.
I need to rush you and your family, your children, your grandparents, everybody up right now, because they're shutting it down. And that's why there has been a rush over the past 2 years. And that's why border crossings are at a higher rate now under Donald Trump than they ever were under Barack Obama. And by the way, this deterrence has done nothing but torture children.